Hola mi gente, welcome back to the channel. This is Sean from We Are Investing, a channel that is dedicated in investing and personal finance. So it was about 5 months ago where I released a video saying what I believe to be the top picks for an infrastructure play. These were the top stocks in my personal opinion. Now let's go over and see how those stocks have been performing. And let's also see how they're performing against the stock that everyone else on YouTube was picking, pretty much everyone else, and that's ChargePoint, CHPT. So let's see how my stock picks are performing, and let's see how ChargePoint is performing since I made that video and I recommended to all the people on the Patreon and the private Discord what I believe to be the top infrastructure plays. So if we head on over to the private Discord and we take a look at the infrastructure stock channel, this is a dedicated channel towards infrastructure plays. The plays that I called out on March 10th of 2021 are ACM, ROAD, NUE, IFRA, and uscr. Not only did I call them out on the private Discord, couple days later, or maybe a couple weeks later, I do not know, I released a video on YouTube where I dived into what I believe to be the top infrastructure plays. Now this did not get a lot of attention, it did not get a lot of views, and did not get a lot of likes because the stocks that I'm mentioning are not popular stocks. They're not stocks that rank high in the YouTube search algorithm like ChargePoint. So when we got this news of an infrastructure package, all the YouTubers were calling out ChargePoint because of how high it ranks in the SEO. It gets some views, it gets some likes, and they get to talk about the topic that's hot. But let's take a look to see how these stocks have been performing, and I think you're going to be quite surprised because I do believe that the stocks that are not known, the undiscovered stocks, the not hype stocks, is where you're going to have the highest potential and the lowest risk. This is how you're going to make money in the stock market, is by finding stocks that aren't discovered yet, waiting for them to become discovered, waiting for them to get that attention they deserve based off of fundamentals and valuation. And then once people start realizing the opportunity that is there, you're going to make money because it's going to move up in the meantime. And people like to buy things when they are up and when the share price is climbing. So with that being said, always try to find stocks that are undiscovered and at good valuations, and always check the fundamentals. So the stocks that we mentioned include AECOM, which is an engineering company and trades under ticker symbol ACM. That position is up 6.52%. The next stock, which is the one that absolutely outperformed, this is Nucor. This is the largest steel manufacturer in the United States. Trades under ticker symbol NUE. Now those call options that are in the money at the time and deep in the money now are up 309.67%. This stock has absolutely outperformed the sector, and actually it can continue to go up because on a price to earnings ratio basis for Nucor, you can also consider Cleveland-Cliffs, ticker symbol CLF. These are trading at multiples that are under 10, and they are in a sector that can outperform, and the companies are solid companies. The next stock is Road. This is a construction company, so they're not going to see the benefits right away, but nevertheless, the stock is up 18% on the common shares because this one did not have leaps at the time that I recommended those stocks. The next stock is an ETF. It's IFRA, and this is an ETF that deals with US infrastructure stocks. That ETF is up 9.45%. The other stock, uscr, US Concrete Incorporated, this is obviously a concrete stock which will benefit with a strong infrastructure package, and that stock is up 12.3%. These are just common shares because they did not have leaps. Now, if you were to get into ChargePoint and buy a leap in the money when I recommended these stocks, the stock, that position would be down negative 43.62%. So taking a look at all of these stocks, if you were to put money in as soon as I recommended them, you were either to buy shares or leaps, which are call options that are in the money and do not expire for multiple years. The leaps in this case would be January of 2023. All of the stocks that I mentioned would be up. The loser of the group would be AECOM at 6.52%, because engineering is a steady business with tough margins, so I don't think AECOM is going to explode, but it is going to benefit and it's lower risk. Nucor, as you can see, absolutely killed it. And I personally own Nucor. I owned all of these. I trimmed on some. I sold out of some. Nucor is my largest of this group because I added to my winners. But basically, if you were to invest in any of these, you would have outperformed ChargePoint, which at the time was the most mentioned ticker on YouTube for infrastructure, the most mentioned ticker on Twitter for infrastructure, the most mentioned ticker pretty much anywhere for infrastructure, because the most obvious play for most people was EV charging stations. But for me, I saw value elsewhere, and that's why you're seeing these kinds of returns. So basically what I want to say on this video is do your own due diligence. Do not follow the crowd and invest in stocks that you believe in, that you're going to hold long term. Do the due diligence, understand the value of the company, because just because a company is a good company doesn't mean it's a good stock, and it does not mean that it's a good stock right now. It might be a good stock in a month if it drops 10%, but nevertheless, always do a valuation of the company that you want to invest in, and invest in companies that you believe in long term, because then if they drop, you can add to your position, you have higher conviction. Now, in my personal opinion in this sector, because we got this bill approved in the Senate, it could sit at the House for some time, because supposedly Nancy Pelosi is not going to approve this bill until she gets the second infrastructure package bill approved by the Senate, which is going to have a more difficult time getting approved. And if this thing sits some time, you could see some of these stocks dip. But overall, the stocks that I have mentioned, I think are good stocks to hold for the long term that will benefit from an infrastructure package, which ultimately I think gets approved, at least this first part, where it's going to include a lot of heavy construction, which I think will benefit these stocks the most. But with all that being said, mi gente, please consider joining this community of over 500 investors by joining the Patreon. It will give you access to that Discord server, which will open up a direct line of communication between you and I and 500 other investors. It's where we talk stocks and cryptos every single day. You can join by joining the Patreon. A link is provided down below. Also in the video description, there are links to Webull, which you will get free stocks for signing up for that brokerage, which in my personal opinion is the best brokerage on your mobile device. TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim is the best brokerage on your computer, but if you're trading through your phone, I believe that Webull is the better option. And that wraps it up for this video. I thank you so much for your time. It's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun, and this is We Are Investing, and together we are invincible. See ya.